What's up, you guys? My name is Milan, and today I'm going to show you how I make my own vegan spring rolls. Now, I've poured myself a glass of white Merlot, and I won't judge you if you do the same. So let's just get started. So no meal is complete without a side. I'm going to start with this Oriental sweet potato, and I'm just going to make a side of sweet potatoes. I'm going to start by cutting off both ends of the sweet potato because sometimes the ends get a little tricky. Now, I like the delicate flavor of a sweet potato. We're just gonna cut out some of this we're gonna cut out some of this bad stuff, like this weird stuff. And I don't know if this is necessary, but I don't like it in my food, so I'm cutting it out. Yeah. Okay. So now that I've cut that out, I'm gonna go ahead and slice my sweet potato into rounds. Each round is about 3/4 of an inch thick. And once I have all my rounds cut, I'm gonna go ahead and cube them. You want to try to make sure that the cubes are the same size so that you can get a thorough cook throughout all of them. Not too small, not too big. Okay, so now that all my sweet potato is cut up and it's cubed, I'm gonna put it in this bowl. It's taking too long. Okay, so in order to cook this sweet potato, I'm gonna go ahead and preheat my oven to 400 degrees. I'm going to take a little bit of coconut oil, we're going to start with a tablespoon and see how that works. So you got a little bit of coconut oil in here, and I'm going to add some salt and pepper. The salt is really going to set off that nice delicate sweetness that Oriental sweet potatoes have. Now I'm going to mix them all together until they're all evenly coated. So now that my sweet potatoes are nice and coated with the coconut oil, the salt, and the pepper, I'm going to grab some foil and I'm going to rip off a pretty decent section of this. If you have a lot of potatoes like I do, you might want to split this into 2 pouches instead of 1. And you're gonna put some potatoes into your little pouch. And now that my potatoes are in this pouch, I'm going to go ahead and fold this foil over and roll up the sides to make a nice little compact thing going on. And that's going to trap in the moisture and the heat so that these bad boys will cook nice, easily, and steam. It's really going to do a steam effect. So you have 1 steam pouch. Let me go ahead and make another one. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these guys in the oven, and they're gonna cook for about the remainder of the rest of the time while we make our spring rolls. Alright, you guys, and now it's time for the fun part. So behind me I have about 1 inch of vegetable oil heating up, and we're gonna get started on the filling for the spring rolls. So I'm gonna start with this red pepper. I'm just gonna cut it up. And I do want the I do want to cut it up kind of fine, not really fine, but enough so that the pieces will fit comfortably inside of a spring roll. Cut off the top, bottom, and then slice this like that. Let's get it started. The easiest way for me to do this is just slice it into strips. And then I'm gonna go back over it and slice it like the width of it. This one has like a weird spot on it, but instead of like throwing the whole thing away, I'm gonna just cut it out. Actually, has a couple little weird spots, so cut all of them out. But the inside looks fine, so it's cool. So I got the peppers out of the way. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the onion. I'm just gonna use a white onion. Okay, so now that we have these peppers and onions cut up, we're gonna set those aside really quick while we take it over here to the oven, and I'm gonna start cooking the tofu because I want that to get a nice brown on it before I add any of these vegetables. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add a little bit of coconut oil to this pan right here. I would say about a tablespoon. Okay, so while I have that coconut oil heating up at about medium temperature, medium high, we'll say, I'm gonna go ahead and prep this tofu. Now the key with tofu is to go ahead, I'm using extra firm tofu. Excuse me, not even extra firm. I'm using firm tofu. And the key to cooking tofu is to go ahead and drain it and pat it dry before you use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep it right now. So I just drained it, and now I'm going to take it out, or I'm gonna flip it onto a paper towel like this, and I'm just gonna let it soak up some of that extra, I'm gonna let it soak up some of that extra moisture that we just don't really want in our food. We don't really need it. So, now that I've drained all that excess liquid from my tofu, I'm really just gonna go ahead and plop it down into this oil. And while I'm gonna let that go ahead and get a sear on it, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now my tofu has been searing for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and start breaking it down with my spoon. You wanna get it down to the consistency of like meat, like ground meat kind of. You can break it down. And don't expect it to automatically just start turning brown and browning and stuff, because tofu is just not really like that. You have to cook it for a long time for it to start browning, like tremendously. Okay, so now that I got like a nice little brown on the tofu over here. I'm gonna go ahead and add these peppers and onions. I know you might be thinking, why did she put in peppers and onions and all this stuff inside of spring rolls? But the truth is, spring rolls don't have to be like a specific way. And as a vegan, you want to try and chop as many vegetables and proteins into your food as possible. So we have the tofu going. I'm going to add these red and yellow peppers and onions, and then we have a few more things to add. I'm going to give this a little stir so that everything can get nice and mixed up. We want a nice thorough cook on everything. I turn the heat up to high, and I'm going to let that keep on cooking and getting all that water out of it, and then we'll continue on to the next step. Alright, so my vegetables are starting to look a little translucent, and that's a good thing. The water has reduced, and now we're gonna start seasoning our spring roll mix. I'm gonna start by adding a healthy spoonful of garlic. I saved this to the end because, well, toward the end, because I really like the taste of garlic and I want it to be stronger. The earlier on that you add the garlic, the less of a taste that it gives the food. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a decent amount right now. I'm gonna add a little bit of turmeric because it's just good for you, and there's nothing wrong with a little bit of turmeric in everything you eat. And it adds a nice little color. I'm gonna add some paprika. Just a little bit. Some liquid aminos, or you can use soy sauce as a nice alternative. Liquid aminos just don't have any preservatives, which I like. And you're gonna add a nice amount of that, and this is what's gonna give your like tofu and your food just a nice like color and flavor. Those liquid aminos are in the place of like salt. Soy sauce and liquid aminos are like an all-purpose seasoning, and I like to use them. I use them in most of my food. Let's add a little bit of pepper in there. To taste, of course. And my secret ingredient when it comes to these spring rolls is a little bit of peanut butter. You can use chunky or creamy, whatever you like. I kind of like the texture of the chunky peanut butter, but both work. I just added a nice healthy spoonful of that, and you can add more or less depending on your preference. It's not yucky. I like to use like natural peanut butter that doesn't have extra sugar in it because it just doesn't need it. Alright, and last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and add at least half of this bag of this super blend. Now this blend contains Brussels sprouts, napa cabbage, kohlrabi, broccoli, carrots, and kale. So this is the green and the orange that I was talking to you about, and this just adds like extra fiber and just nutrients to this meal, especially because we're gonna fry something. I just want to try to make it as healthy as possible, and this is a good way to just add like extra vegetables into your meal and kind of like hide it. Smells good. The reason that I added this stuff at the end is because this stuff has like a nice crunch that I find that I like in my food, and so I add it at the very end so that it can maintain as much crunch as possible while I cook it. And then because I just like it. I mean, you don't have to add it at this point if you want it like softer and you don't want as much of a crunch. You can definitely add it when you add the rest of your other vegetables. But it gives it that nice texture that I think works well just in vegan food. You want to have like a nice variation. So now that that's nice and mixed up, I'm gonna let that sit and just cook together for like 3 to 5 minutes, and then your seasoning, your filling for your spring rolls is done after that. And we're gonna go ahead and fill our spring rolls and fry them. Okay, so let's get started making these spring rolls. I have gone ahead and bought some pre-made spring roll papers just to make it way easier, and I'm gonna place it on the surface in front of me in like a diamond shape. I let them thaw completely and they are ready to go. So I'm just going to add a couple of spoons of this filling. And start rolling them. I'm gonna roll one side, and then the other, and the other, and then roll them up. And I'm gonna set them aside so that I can fry them all at the same time.
Alright you guys, so now that I have all my spring rolls nice and wrapped up, I'm going to go ahead and cook them until they're nice and golden brown on both sides in this oil that I've had heating back here the entire time that we were cooking everything else. In the meantime, let me take these potato packs out of the oven so that they can start to cool off. Okay, so now once my spring rolls have browned and they're nice and thoroughly cooked, I'm going to go ahead and take them out of the oil with a slotted spoon and set them on a plate or a dish with a paper towel to drain the excess oil. Once I'm done with this, we're going to be ready to start plating our food. Spring rolls are done. Let's check out these potatoes. You see all that steam? These are like perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna put these in a bowl. Man, these potatoes look so good. Let me try. I'm gonna sprinkle with just a little bit more salt. Just a little bit. I like these pink salt. I'm gonna mix them up just a little bit because they're nice and soft, so I don't want to mix them too much because then they're gonna like consistency. All right, you guys, and that's it. We are done, and this looks so good. I'm so excited to eat. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Comment below if you guys are gonna try this recipe or if you think it looks good. And I will see you guys next time.